Hi, this is Linda from Webster Farms, and I've had a few people that tell me they're having trouble getting a sourdough start going with my dried starter. So I decided I would take you through the steps and show you just how easy it is, and hopefully you can get one going. I'm afraid my instructions were a little off, so we're going to get down to the bare bones and just do it from scratch. I'm not even going to use a scale. If you don't have a scale, that's okay. At some point you're going to need one because it's important later on. But for right now, we're just going to use actually it's a half a tablespoon. So for your first day one, you need to get a container. You can use anything you want. I'm going to use a mason jar and a little bit of warm water. So I'm going to take 1/2 of a tablespoon of the dried sourdough starter and put it in a jar, and then I'm going to add a 1/2 tablespoon of the water. Just equal parts starter and water. And I'm going to just kind of swirl that around a little bit and give it a couple seconds to soften up. And then next we're going to add some flour to it. And I'm using just a normal all-purpose flour. Actually, I use King Arthur is what I like. In a minute or so, the mix has started to hydrate a little bit, soften up. So now I'm just going to add flour. And what I do with my found it. Anyway, same thing. We're just going to take a 1/2 tablespoon of flour, put that in there, stir it up. And actually I'm going to add just a hair bit more water. You just want it to get kind of liquidy. It should be like a paste. And just make sure that it's all mixed up good. And there's not going to be very much in your jar at all. It should look like, let me get that rubbed off there. It should look like that when you finish. See how thick it is? And it's just a clump in the bottom. And that's all we're going to do today. So we're going to just cover it. And I'm going to take a mason cap and just set on it upside down. And that's all I'm going to do. Leave it alone. And just, that's it until tomorrow. See you tomorrow and we'll do the next step. Okay, here we are. We're back. It's day 2 of our sourdough start. This is what it looks like. Nothing much going on. So today what we're going to do is we're going to add a tablespoon of flour, all-purpose flour, and then a tablespoon of water. And just for my own curiosity, I measured these out earlier, and I came up with 1 gram difference between the two of them. So I'm not going to lose any sleep over a gram, and I don't think there's any baker out there that will either. So anyway, what you're going to do, you add that to what you've already got, and you're going to stir it very well. Get everything incorporated and moistened. Scrape the sides, make sure you've got it mixed up good. And that looks pretty good. And what we're going to do, it looks like so. Put the lid on it, and we're done for the day. Leave it alone. We'll see you tomorrow for day 3. Good morning. Welcome back to our sourdough start. Whatever. Anyway, this is day 4. I actually got busy yesterday and I forgot day 3, forgot it completely till about 10 o'clock last night. So we are on day 4, which means I did absolutely nothing to it yesterday. And I'm kind of glad that happened because I want to show you. I don't know if you can see well, but look at the bubbles there. We are already starting to get some activity, and I completely skipped a day. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add a tablespoon of flour, all-purpose flour, and we're going to add a tablespoon of water. Stir it up, and we're going to leave it alone. And the way this thing is looking, tomorrow, I think we might actually see enough activity to where we can start building our leaven. But you stir that up really, really good. Leave it sitting out. And see how it's starting to get some stickiness to it. Stir it up, leave it alone, and we'll be back tomorrow. But anyway, this is day 4, and we actually only have dealt with it 3 times. See you tomorrow. Bye. Okay, we are back with our sourdough start, and this is day 5. And day 5 is really looking promising. This is what our start looks like now. It's full of bubbles. When you tilt it, it kind of pulls and looks stringy. That's exactly what we have been waiting for. So today we're going to proceed and make a leaven for our bread. For my bread recipe, I need 200 grams of leaven. So what I do, I have these weck jars. I'm going to have bigger than what I've been using, and I like these weck jars. So I get me a new jar. I'm going to tear it out to 0, and I am going to add a 1 to 5 to 5 ratio to build my leaven for my bread. So that means I need 200 grams. So I'm going to take 20 grams of this start that we've just created and put it in a new jar. 20 grams, get down in there. And if you're a little bit over, it doesn't matter. I don't get really hung up about it. But take 20 grams. There we are. Perfect. Right on the money. 20 grams, and then with 1 to 5 to 5. So I want 100 grams of water and 100 grams of flour. And I've already measured these out. So that is going to be the leaven for my bread. You stir it together. Let it set overnight to reach its peak. And then tomorrow, I will use this entire jar to make my bread. And you will find, I don't do it anymore, but if you put a rubber band around this jar, which I would recommend to do till you get more used to what's going on here. But this jar then, from this point, it is going to double or at least triple in size. Really, I want it to triple. But there is my leaven for my bread tomorrow, and it is ready to go. So I'm just done with that. I've got it stirred. I'm going to put a lid over it and set it aside until tomorrow. What we have left in this jar is our discard, but we've also got to keep our start going. So I don't want a lot of start, so what I'm going to do is get a clean jar, tear it out, and I'm just going to take 5 grams of what's in here. Just because I don't want to be wasting a lot of flour if I don't think I'm going to be baking much through the next few days. So I'm taking 5 grams of what's in the jar. And then 5 times 5 is 25. So I'll add 25 grams of water and 25 grams of flour. Tear that out. 25 water. And 25 flour. And this now becomes my sourdough start that I feed every day until I'm ready to make another leaven. Stir that up, put a lid on it, keep it somewhere where it's nice and warm. And you can take from this and make any quantity that you want. You're going to be feeding it every day. You're going to be discarding from it every day. But now this is the new start. So we're going to set it aside. So we've got our leaven prepared right here that we're going to make bread with tomorrow. And then this is our start to carry on. What's left in the jar is discard. And you can just take this jar, since it's already dirty, put it in the refrigerator and just add to it every single day until you get enough to use to make pancakes. Or it makes great pancakes, it makes fajitas, it makes brownies. I mean, essentially anything that requires flour you can use it in. But that's it. It is really not rocket science. It takes a little bit to get the start going, but once you get your start going, you keep it going indefinitely. If you're going to be gone for a while, you put it in your refrigerator. I've done that for up to a month. Take it out and start feeding it again, and it's ready to go. You'll notice sometimes that it's going to develop a layer of fluid on the top, and it looks almost black or gray. That, I don't remember what it's called, wort or something like that. But anyway, you just stir it all back together and carry on. It's not bad. Now, if you've got visible mold in it, that's a different story. I would probably pitch it. But anyway, this is my leaven for making bread tomorrow. I'm going to get up in the morning, make my bread, use every bit of this, and I've still got my start to feed tomorrow, and then this is my discard that goes to the fridge. I hope this kind of solved some of the, or answered some of the questions for you. If you feel like you still need some help, feel free to reach out to me. Thanks and have a great day.